Hello guys and welcome back to a Football Manager 2023, episode number 78 of my epic journey through Europe. We're in Slovakia as the manager of Podbrezova. In the top flight, things are going reasonably well. You know, we've had a pretty decent season. We've just had the end of the transfer window as well. We are the team who bought the most players at 16. We're also the team who sold the most players. So we've had quite a busy transfer window, and there has been a few more signings since you were last with us. We are fast approaching our 1,000th game in management as well, with a 62% win ratio, which is pretty decent. Reputations sort of hovered around the 55-60. We've been as high as 65% in terms of us as a manager. So we'll have a quick look over at the finances as well. The finances but unbelievably, are looking fantastic. We've had a pretty good transfer window in terms of finances. We'll have a quick look over the fixtures since you were last here, which was the opening day of the season. That very, very disappointing 1-0 defeat to Michelovci. In terms of European competition, we did okay. A 0-0 draw away to Tobol. We then took them on at our place and a 2-0 win here with Andrucci and Bellotti, the two Italians, getting the goals. It was Apol Limassol, the Cypriot side. Next up, a 2-1 win at home, a 1-0 draw away from home. Got us into the fourth qualifying round, which brought us up against Slavia Prague. We did get a draw away from home. Unfortunately, we were beaten at home, so we are knocked out of the Conference League, but we got a nice little payout for it, around about £700,000, which was pretty decent. In terms of the league, though, Slovan Bratislava with the next game after the Michelovci game. Sandro Imbraccio with a hat-trick against us. Unfortunately, a first half hat-trick as well in the space of about 10 minutes. They absolutely battered us. We didn't deserve absolutely anything out of the game. Just mustering the 2 shots on target, unfortunately. So Slovan Bratislava, who, by the way, have had a fantastic start to the season, they've only dropped points in 1 game so far, unfortunately for us. We did take on Zelinia, though, and we got our first point of the season. It was a 1-1 draw. It was a hard-fought 1-0 draw. Possibly should have won the game looking at the XG. But Yusuf Tash did pop up in the 80th minute to score the equaliser after Richard Boateng did put Zelinia ahead. So we were off the mark in the third season, finally. The third game of the season. We then took on Trenchin, 3-1 win away from home. Sunday Kile did get himself sent off in the 37th minute, but we did power through to come from a goal behind to a Josef Nemechik. 17th minute opener. Lorenzo Andrucci got us started, and then Yusuf Tash popped up with a double in a very, very close game XG wise. But we did come away with the 3 points, which was a fantastic. Little bit disappointed with Sunday getting himself sent off so early on in the game. After that, it was Trnava, who we all know are a very good team, previous champions of the division. We did pick up a 2-0 win here, though. Fabio Mendes and Juraj Sedlak with both the goals in the first half. Defensively, we were absolutely fantastic. Trnava with a much, much better team here. They, again, you can see there in the bottom left corner, XG-wise, they absolutely dominated us, and they had 4 clear-cut chances to our 1, but we stuck ours in the back of the net, which at the end of the day in football, it's what matters. The team who scores the most goals wins the game, and that's exactly what we did against Trnava. It was then Skalica, a 3-0 win here. Diogo Pereira, Fabio Bellotti and Sunday Kile with the goals. We scored 2 of them very, very late on, the 88th, 89th minute, but it was our turn to be on the front foot. You may notice as well a slight formation change. I've changed the formation again, guys. The 4-2-4, I know I keep going back to it. Maybe wasn't quite cutting the mustard. So I'm trying another one of Frankly FM 84s. Now I'll leave a link to it in the description again. Like I said previously, he's part of a Facebook group that I'm on, and he posts his tactics in there. I thought I'd give it a go, to see if I could turn our fortunes around a little bit. We weren't playing the greatest of footballs. And the first game was a 3-0 win. We tried it against Slavia Prague, though, didn't work. But we took on Zlate Moravci in the league. Wojtek Zajek with the goal for Zlate Moravci after we were 2-0 up. Yusuf Tash and Josef Novotny with the goals. We dominated them. We really, really dominated them. 9 shots on target. Just the one clear-cut chance, though. So, there's pros and cons there. We had a lot of shots, a decent XG, but in terms of actually carving out clear-cut chances, maybe not so great. The defence, some of the defence wasn't at their best in this game as well, but they probably didn't need to be fair. Banska Bystrica, the newly promoted side, were next up. It was a 1-0 win away from home. Yusuf Tash with the only goal of the game. Arguably closer than it looks. XG wise, we were pretty far ahead, but the goal was a huge amount of XG in terms of that. But in terms of actual chances, again, Banska Bystrica had their chances. The goalkeeper played well. So did our goalkeeper, which you may notice is Fernandez. We'll go over the signings in a minute. And then we took on Poprad in the Cup, our former side. Poprad, a very, very good 4-0 win away from home. Just coincidentally how Poprad are doing. They currently find themselves in 9th in the table. So they are slowly climbing up towards the top. But most recently in the league, it was a 0-0 draw with Dunstrada. We probably should have won. We really probably should have won. Andrucci and Belotti have not impressed me. The two Inter Milan players. We should have won really, but we didn't. Right, so that's where we are. We currently find ourselves sat in 4th position in the table on 17 points. We're clear of Zelinia in 5th. We're there or thereabouts with Trnava and Dunstrada. It would have been nice to beat Dunstrada, but Slovan Bratislava, like I say, have only dropped the points once this season, and they did lose to Trnava, the team in 2nd place, but they are absolutely flying. Slovan Bratislava only conceded the 4 goals all season. Scored 25 of them, so they really are the team to catch, and we've got our work cut out. We find ourselves 7 points behind them already, so the games against Slovan Bratislava later on in the season are going to be absolutely vital. Right, transfer wise, let's have a quick look over the transfer history. Of course, last time you were here, there's been quite a few players go out, including one that you may notice here is Yusuf Tash. We sold him to Ajax for 2.3 million. I probably could have got more, but the board took over this one. They accepted the 2.3 million. Fortunately for us, though, Ajax loaned him back to us for free for the rest of the season. So we put some money in the bank, we took his wages off the books, and we still got the player for the rest of the season, which is absolutely fantastic. There's been a whole host of second-string players go out on loan and for cheap money as well since then. In terms of the ins, though, Yusuf Tash obviously come back in on loan. We've then signed Paulo Fernandes for £240,000, a 30-year-old Portuguese keeper. Very, very good compared to the previous keepers at the club. You can see him in comparison here to Dusan Ondrejka. He is streets ahead. He's absolutely streets ahead. Is Paulo. He's done reasonably well since he's come in. He's conceded 2 goals in his 5 league games, which is fantastic. He conceded 2 in Europe as well. But he enjoys big matches and he's consistent, which is absolutely fantastic for us. And it's nice to have a good goalkeeper here, formerly of the Benfica Academy. Shola Usman is another one who's come in, the Nigerian. He has come in for £155,000 from Kano Pillars, who I believe are a Nigerian side. They are. He's had a reasonable start to life here. Of course, I signed him as an advanced playmaker on support, and then I changed the tactics, so he doesn't really fit too much anymore. But if I do go back to the 4-2-4, he's got some fantastic attributes for that position. Unfortunately, he doesn't enjoy big matches, and he is injury prone, but he is consistent, and he's considered to be a leading player for most first division sides. So jury's out with Shola there. Timo Hauser is a free transfer Austrian left fullback, can play centre back as well. Again, reasonably good. He's on a lot of money though at 5k a week. It really is a lot of money. But as a left-sided defender, he's got some good attributes again, and it's a case of him fighting for the position with Pereira. Really, we do compare the two. Then you can see that Diogo Pereira is quicker. Timo can defend better. He's better in the air as well. He's more suited to be in that centre half position than he is maybe the left back position, and that's where he has played for us. Nisa Pesto is a Bosnian. He's come in more of a fringe player, as it says in the top of the screen there. That's what he signed as a fringe player. He played the game against Poprad in the Cup and he did fantastic. 2 assists. Again, another central midfielder. We're training him to be a segundo volante, which is a defensive midfield position, which is part of the new tactic. So he's one for the future. He's more of a backup player. Blagoje Rakovic is another advanced playmaker, another Bosnian as well. We've brought him in. Again, to fit the squad. He's another one who's trained to be that Segundo Volante. He's played, again, against Podbrezova, once off the bench in the league, but he's got some very good attributes. He's 21 as well. Free transfer, he's consistent. That's why he's in. And then most recently, we've brought in Djordje Grozdanovic. Now, he was brought in because part of Rakovic's contract was that we signed a player to help him settle. So we just went and got another young Bosnian, 20-year-old goalkeeper. Cost us nothing. He's not on massive wages. And that filled the quota of bringing a player in to help Rakovic settle. So that's where we're at in terms of players financially. We've got £600,000 in the bank with transfer budget of 1.5 million thanks to the Yusuf Tash sale. We do still lose a lot of money here though, as you can see, £190,000 so far this month, and we've still got another week to go in the month. Wage budget is back up to £58,000. I did obviously take some of the transfer budget out, put it into the wage budget, so it didn't affect my attributes, my managing finances. So that's the catch up, guys. We'll get into the game, shall we? Hopefully we can pick up a win. We are playing against Podbrezova, who are currently sat in 10th in the league, but we are a third of the way through the season, which is why we've chosen the Podbrezova game. Hopefully Trnava lose, or in fact that would be a draw. I'd love that to be a draw. Slovan Bratislava not playing today, but this is the lineup that we're going to go for today. We'll have a quick run through the tactic as well. Like I say, it is by Frankly FM on the Facebook group that I'm in. I'll leave a link to it in the description. It's a 4-3-3. Fernandez as the goalkeeper. Marco Antonio continues to play as the right wing back. He's done very well for us. It's then Sedlak and Mendes as the two central defenders, with Pereira getting the nod at wing back today. It uses a defensive midfield on defend, which we're using Marcin Chila, the Pole. He does suit this position quite comfortably. And two Volante, Segundo Volantes on attack. We've got Reece playing in here, the man on loan from Arsenal, fairly decent in that sort of position. And then it's Zavara as well, Boris Zavara. He's playing in the other Segundo Volante position. Good attributes for that position. He can't mark and tackle though, and his positioning is poor. So there is improvements to be made there. And then it employs two inside forwards as opposed to inverted wingers, which we used, which is Yusuf and Kile, and a single lone striker, which we are using Lorenzo Andrucci. He's only got 1 goal and 1 assist in the league though, so he really needs to step up. In terms of the squad, Belotti's actually scored. In fact, you know what? We're going to start with Belotti. Belotti has actually outscored his Italian teammate, although not in the league. They're exactly the same in the league. But that's the lineup for today. Let's hope we can pick up what should be a comfortable win against Podbrezova. We are heavily favourites for the game. We have actually reduced our title odds as well, down to about 21s, I think. So we are in with a shout. We've done it before from a similar position. Probably worse odds as well. We've done it before from. So we really do need to take that fight to Slovan Bratislava this season. Although we've left ourselves with a lot of work to do early on in the season, finding ourselves 7 points behind already. And we get into our first highlight. We're approaching 15 minutes. Mendes misses that header though, but Fernandez thankfully behind him. No attackers behind Mendes, sorry. Fernandez rolls out to Mendes, finds Pereira, the Portuguese. Forward down the line to Kile, the Norwegian. He's tackled well though, and now it's Hill looking over the top. Sedlak gets there though, but the ball comes back with Sedlak again. Marco Antonio feeds Zavara out wide to Yusuf. Yusuf looking over the top for Belotti, who was a mile offside. He's going to put it away, but the lino has got his flag up there. I could see straight away that Belotti was offside, and that happens to us a hell of a lot here. We've had so many goals disallowed this season for players being offside. The two Italians up top, most notably. They do need to time their runs a little bit better. But Overek with the deep throw-in, and we've fallen behind here to an even Kruzliak goal in the 23rd minute. Podbrezova take the lead away to Podbrezova. The team currently sat in 10th in the table. Not the best of starts to Podbrezova. We're going to have a little shout at the boys. This has not been the best of performances so far. We really cannot afford to slip up to teams like Podbrezova in our quest for the title here. So we do need to get ourselves back into this game. Slobodnik looking forward down the line towards Sefkik, who does get there. But Marco Antonio deals with it. Looking forward towards Kile, doesn't get the nail on, but Zavara picks it up. And the ball's ended up with Yusuf. Now, Sedlak feeds Zavara again. Have we got a runner ahead of him? It's good movement from Pereira on the left-hand side. Needs some support, though. He's got Kile inside of him. Kile cuts back, finds Zavara again. Forward to Belotti, and Belotti, for once, is onside, but it was a poor effort on his left foot. A bit more like it by the boys, though. A nice little build-up to get ourselves into that position. We just need to be a bit more clinical in goal. As we do now approach half-time, Marco Antonio with a throw-in. It gets the ball into the box. It's Belotti again. Sinde Kile with his first goal of the season, believe it or not. And it's been disallowed. Who was offside? Probably Belotti. Yes, it was Belotti. Again, the Italians find themselves offside. I did just notice in the bottom left corner as well that it said Tanava a 2-0 up, which is not great. We could have done with a draw in that game. But at half-time, despite dominating the game, we find ourselves behind, and we're going to have a little shout at the boys and tell them to buck their ideas up. But we do get an early highlight in the second half, straight from kickoff. It's Kile who's not performing on this left-hand side. Next transfer window, I may need to look to bring a better player in for Kile. But Mendes, looking forward down the line, who finds the aforementioned Kile, cuts it back on his right foot. Good ball in for James Reese. James Reese grabs his second goal of the game. And just as I'm slagging Kile off, he actually does something really good and finds the assist for James Reese. I keep calling him Reese James. Apologies. It's just habit. But Kile does really well down here on the left-hand side. Cuts back on his favoured right foot. Good ball across. Outside the right foot for James Reese. Pulls us level, and can we go ahead straight away? It's Belotti. Needs some support, though. He's well tackled by Kill. Urban looking forward. We should win this easily. We do with Mendes, but it comes back to Kill again. It's now Sedlak. Ovavec? Sibunik with the ball over the top. Goalkeeper comes out, though. Good positioning for Fernandez there to get himself on the end of that. He rolls it out to Mendes. Striding forward. Looking to go over the halfway line. He does. Finds Kile. Kile's tackled, though. And the ball is now with Urban and Casoli. Urban again. Can we pinch the ball back? Yeah, we can. They've given it straight back to us. It's Pereira. Again, advancing over the halfway line. Needs some support. Finds Kile over the top. Kile heads it on towards Belotti. Belotti's fouled, surely. Penalty ref. And it's going to be Yusuf Tash to take the penalty. Good play again by the boys. Good flick on by Kile. Come on, Yusuf. And he does. He slots it into the bottom corner. Great penalty there by Yusuf Tash for his 6th goal of the season. And we've flipped this game on its head after falling behind halfway through the first half. We have now come back and taken the lead in a fantastic display by the boys. Just look at the XG that we've got compared to Brezov. We are limiting their chances drastically. And as things stand, that would put us into second in the table, as it says there. But we already know that Trnava are 2-0 up. So we are actually going to be in third place behind Trnava. But we closes the gap to 4 points. Yes, Slovan Bratislava have got a game in hand. We could extend our lead here in this game. And it's cleared off the line by Urban. Comes out as far as Chyla. Finds Sedlak on the right-hand side. But that is enough of that, according to Football Manager. Yes, goal difference is going to be pretty big, I think, against Slovan Bratislava. So we need to score as many as we can and not concede too many, as Fernandez clutches that one out of the air. He's done really well as Fernandez since he's come in. What options has he got? He's got Marco Antonio on the right-hand side. Finds Sedlak. Needs some options to Sedlak. Finds Chyla. Sedlak again. He's got Marco Antonio outside of him, and that's where the ball ends up. It's Marco Antonio. Patient build-up from the Podbrezova boys here. Sedlak into Mendes, his defensive partner. He's got Pereira on the left. Switch the ball, Mendes. There we go. Too long, though. Forward towards Kile. Pereira again. Back to Mendes. This is going to be a long one, guys. This is going to be a long highlight. Mendes finds Pereira. Now over the top towards Kile, who's inside the area. Can he finish? He can. Cinder Kile with his 2nd goal of the season. Although he scored earlier and it said it was his 1st goal of the season. So I don't know what's going on with that. Good patient build-up by the boys in the end. We picked the right pass towards the end. Kile, who I was slagging off earlier on, has now come up with goal and assist, so he's actually played really well. Pereira cannons the shot. Zavara also cannons his shot, but it's forced to Kile, gets his effort away. It's good save by Meza in goal, though. We just need to see the game out now. Meza goes long. We should win that, though. Marco Antonio does, but it's going to drop to a Brezov player. It's Sefcik. Surely we win that header. We do. Mendes, Reese, Chyla, Pereira. A lot of our good stuff has come down this left-hand side in this game. Pereira finds Mendes. Again, looking for the patient build-up. Sedlak switches out to the left to Pereira. Can he carry it over halfway? He can. Looking down the left for Kile again, who's in behind yet again. Kile with his second goal of the game. What a performance this has been by the Norwegian. He's having an absolutely fantastic game. He probably heard me. Slagging him off and saying I was going to replace him. Oh, we're still coming forward. Marco Antonio, Yusuf. To Antonio again. Reese. Antonio comes back to Sedlak. Looking over the top. Down the line again. That's Paul Paulo and Presov do manage to get it clear. But it's comfortably taken in by Sedlak. Now Pereira. We've switched the play over to the left. Pereira advancing towards the byline. Cuts back. Decent cross on his right foot. Reese gets there. Zavara finds Pereira again. Good ball forward to Belotti, who's in for his 5th goal of the season. Fabio Belotti makes it 5-1 to Podbrezova, and what a resounding victory this is turning out to be. After falling behind early on in the game, we've played really, really well in this game. The tactic is starting to bear its fruits now, and so are the team, now that they're gelling together. I say we brought 16 players in at the start of the season. There is a lot of gelling that needs doing. And it's going to be, can we make it 6? Zavara with the free kick. It's cannoned off the crossbar. There are a lot of new players in this team that I think surviving from last season. Marco Antonio, Sedlak, Chyla and Zavara. So there's a lot of bedding in that needs to be done in this game. In this team, sorry. But comfortable 5-1 victory. Very, very pleased with that. Like I say, Trnava have won as well though. So we do continue to be behind them. But we are up to 3rd in the table. 4 points behind Slovan Bratislava. 3 behind Trnava. Of course, Slovan do have the game in hand. Guys, thank you for being here. Again, thank you very much for watching. Please do remember to hit that subscribe button and hit that like button as well. For me, it does help me out massively, and I greatly, greatly appreciate it. But thank you guys for being here. We'll catch up with you 2/3 of the way through the season. Hopefully it's a bit more of a competitive game for you. It could even be Rosenberok, who are predicted to finish 2nd. I think that's about 10 games further on. In fact, I think it is. So yeah, guys, we'll come back then. Hopefully we've had a decent season. We've closed that gap to Slovan Bratislava. But yeah, I'll catch up with you in the next episode. Cheers, guys.